Hey everyone, James Niggemeyer here. Thank you for tuning back into my YouTube channel. Today I'm on the water with my good friend Michael Sandifer. We're actually in his brand new boat. This is a Ranger RT 188P. And is this a 2021, Michael?
21. Yeah.
2021. That's so awesome. I had a 188, but it wasn't a P. And I think at some point we'll do kind of a walkthrough video of this boat. But today I want to do a video on seasonal patterns, and probably one of the most overlooked cover types when it comes to catching bass in the summertime. Before I do that, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, and obviously share it with anybody that you like. That's really the best way to help me grow this channel. And with that, let's get right into it. The cover type that I think is the most overlooked is shade. And shade can come in various types. Like right here, we've got shade under a dock. But we've been out on the water today, and it's been kind of tough, but we've been able to catch fish relating to cover. But I feel like the key component of it is the shade. Hopefully we'll get a few fish catches and talk about how fish relate to shade and why it's an important cover type during the summertime. So obviously, depending upon the position of the sun in the sky, you're gonna have shade that's gonna fall different on different targets. You've got this tree right here casting a shade line, and sometimes they're not necessarily in the deepest, darkest part of it, but they're actually using the very ends of it. And hopefully we can demonstrate that with a few fish catches, or even just a fish catch. But that's important to think about, is how the shade falls. And obviously earlier in the morning, that shade's gonna be longer, those lines are gonna be longer. And then in the evening, the same thing. And during the middle part of the day, that shade's gonna be tighter and more directly underneath that certain piece of cover. And also, that's gonna actually pull fish and draw fish to the shade, I think, with a greater degree, kind of concentrating them so that more fish actually see your presentation while you're making a cast around shade. Seems like in the summertime, a lot of people think that the best cover types are brush piles and maybe even standing timber or rocky humps or rocky ridges, rock piles, different things like that, and of course weed beds. But I like to refer as shade as a soft cover type, because naturally there's really no physical feature to the cover other than the fact that you have just a difference in light, and that makes a hard line, just like any type of cover type. So I think that people are a lot of times looking at those other cover types during the summer, and they kind of overlook shade. And shade works well whether you're in shallow water like these docks, or even offshore. Like sometimes there'll be a hump and it'll have a hard break, and that'll cast a shade line, say from 15 to 18 feet of water. There'll be actually a shade line, and the fish will actually gravitate to that particular side of the offshore cover or structure. So think about it in multiple ways and take it into consideration anytime you're out there and presenting your bait. Obviously, sometimes the shade's gonna fall on one side or the other, and you gotta think like the bass will be positioned in the cover. But sometimes they'll be feeding into the light. Sometimes if you don't get a bite in the shade portion, you need to pitch into the light, because they're actually positioned into the light and they're looking in that direction. So sometimes if you pitch into the shade, you'll actually be pitching behind them. So keep that in mind whenever you're fishing shade. There we go.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a real one.
That is a good one. The old Magnum Gamehog got him. There's a little bit of shade right there off of this tree, but he was on that lay down, but there was a little bit of shade. I just flipped that Magnum Gamehog in there and got that beautiful chunk.
Look at his tail.
Yeah, His tail's been eaten up a little bit like turtle action. Wow, that's awesome. So we're at about 2 feet of water, maybe a foot or less, and just kind of covering water, looking at different sections of willow trees and buckbrush and laydowns and different things that cast shade. Now obviously the hard cover, the laydowns and the wood, that definitely makes it appealing for fish to be there because they can get in and around those hard targets. But also you have the shade that just kind of makes a bigger presence and makes it more appealing from an ambush standpoint. So that's pretty cool to kind of talk about how important shade is in the summertime and what a valuable tool it is. Even when the water temperature is 85 degrees, you can still come up here in less than 2 feet of water and catch fish that are utilizing these hard targets and the soft cover of the shade. One of the things that I think I need to mention that's key is we came through here and we're seeing a lot of shad. This is a main lake point, and now it's not a very deep point. It's kind of a long tapering point, but it's a main lake point with a lot of cover. We're on a lake where the fish typically stay shallow, but for the most part, you've got a lot of things going for it. You've got watercolor. You've got a nice stain to the water, so the fish can't see us and we can't see them. And then also we have a little bit of a breeze. It was kind of slick calm there for a second, but a little bit of a breeze. And then obviously the presence of bait. And even I can see there's turtle heads out here, kind of around here. Generally when I see schools of shad, I generally see some turtle presence, and that's also evident here. So that was really cool. See if we can catch some more here. Oh, yeah. After all my tooling around in there, he still bit. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, he's all up in there.
Dude, it didn't even hit the bottom. Oh, you're kidding!
Claim one?
I don't know, but it wrecked me right now. It took my whole bait and everything.
Yeah, I'm sitting here planning on putting on a different bait. Working more, I'll probably be stealing one of your
Yeah. So just a quick video today on the importance of shade in the summertime and what a viable cover type it is to catch fish, even in really shallow water or out in deeper water. Of course, when you're fishing in clear water, that shade line is going to, really pull out in a longer stretch out on those main lake humps and different things like that and ledges, and that can position the fish on a particular rock pile or something like that. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel, and until next time, good fishing.